Germany sets up first overseas bases since World War II, as you can see in an article linked up on Mark13News.com for April 8th, 2024. Germany, which is Judah, geopolitically being the second king of the South, according to the Daniel 11 hypothesis on BiblicalResearchLabs.com, as well as the notable horn of the he-goat, not the great horn, but the notable horn written of in Daniel chapter 8, because the he-goat is symbolic of the shadow government of the Kenites who used Germany, which is Judah, geopolitically during the world wars against Ephraim and Manasseh, which are what the two horns on the ram of Daniel chapter 8 are symbolic of, Ephraim being the United Kingdom, including the British Commonwealth, with Manasseh being the United States, the first king of the South and the third king of the South in Daniel chapter 11. And in 1945, the Kenite shadow government went from using the notable horn to the great horn, which is the United Nations, in my opinion, which is when the king of the South went from being Germany to the United States. And once the United Nations gets broken, the four notable ones written of in Daniel chapter 8 verse 8 will then rise up together to replace it as the one world political system of Revelation 13 at the woe of the fifth trumpet, when Satan and his angels get cast to earth, because the four notable ones of Daniel chapter 8 are the same thing as the four beasts of Daniel chapter 7, Daniel's fourth beast being exclusively supernatural, with the he-goat becoming the leopard of Daniel chapter 7 at that time, which is symbolic of the Kenites and their four hidden dynasties providing the infrastructure of the one world system. And it's also at that time the Ezekiel 38 confederacy becomes the bear of Daniel chapter 7, which is the fourth king of the north in Daniel 11, with the fourth king of the south being the lion of Daniel chapter 7, which is made up of Ephraim, Judah, and Manasseh. Germany will have by that time most likely filled in the post-Brexit power vacuum, becoming the leader of Europe, so then Judah at that point will mean Germany including Europe, and then one of the seven heads of the one world political system will get wounded to death, meaning most likely one or more of the countries on one of the seven continents will declare independence from the so-called New World Order. This is why it says in Revelation 17:10, 5 are fallen and one is, because after the deadly wound, the 5 that will be fallen at that time are the four hidden dynasties and the one world system itself, with the one that is there being the dragon, meaning Satan, who won't appear as the Antichrist until the woe of the sixth trumpet. His role of Antichrist, which is called the little horn in Daniel chapter 7 and Daniel chapter 8, being the other who is not yet come, written of in Revelation 17:10, according to the time frame there, which again is after the deadly wound but before the woe of the sixth trumpet. And it's at the woe of the sixth trumpet most Christians will begin worshiping Satan instead of Christ, which is what Antichrist means. The three horns plucked up by the roots at that time that you can read of in Daniel chapter 7 verse 8 being Ephraim, Judah, and Manasseh, because that's when they go from being Christian nations to non-Christian nations at the sixth seal, the sixth trumpet, and the sixth vial. The true Christ won't return at all until 777, meaning the seventh trumpet, the seventh vial, and immediately after the space of half an hour, meaning 2.5 months, written of in the seventh seal, because Daniel's 70th week was 7 years but is now 5 months. Daniel's 70th week being the same thing as the hour of temptation, so half an hour would be half of 5 months, meaning 2.5 months or 70 evenings, which are what the 70 years in captivity to the Babylon of old were a type of.